Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm very well, very well. Coach Johnson.
I'm Kemi. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So we're here to discuss Katie and her concussion. You know, Katie's on the golf team, and she decided to go off and do intramurals on her own, even though I told her not to, and she fell and hit her head during flag. I saw her the other day. I saw her earlier today, and she said she was fine. And she's one of my hardest workers in the weight room, and so I really want to get her back in there.
Right.
And so, but my head AD is telling me that I can't. So, I guess my question is, if I'm the certified strength coach here, why can I not just go ahead and put her right back in it? If she said she's feeling fine.
Right. So have you ever had a concussion, or has anyone really kind of sat down with you and kind of talked to you about what a concussion looks like and why we decide to hold athletes before returning them to play in terms of concussion?
I can't say I have.
Okay. So our concussion, we like to very much treat that similar to like any type of injury. I know it looks a little different because an athlete can look like they're completely fine before like coming back to play, or I mean they could be doing fine in the classroom and hanging out with their friends, so why is it that they can't come back to their sport? But the mechanism, it's kind of like a jarring of the head, and so that can mess up a lot of things like cranial nerves, so kind of assessing things that matter in terms of, for example, like balance or like eyesight, and then it goes further. It goes into like in terms of cognition, and then there's even like a return to school protocol. So there's just a lot of things that are thrown off when you're concussed, and we can't say that any concussion looks the same. So that's also the problem. You may have an athlete, you had a concussion, and he was back within 2 weeks, while Katie may be taking longer than that because everyone's brain is obviously different.
Right.
So Katie, the last time I saw her, she was doing pretty well, but I wanted her to progress back to working out, I wanted her to over time progress back to working out before she could even go back to her sport, because I didn't want her to go at a level that wasn't, or at a level that was harmful to her. And then any type of exercise can bring back, or can make your symptoms reoccur. So anytime your symptoms reoccur, we already have to go back a day to make sure that nothing's going on, because you wouldn't want to return them to play in a state where the cognition is lacking, because that can also lead to further injury.
Right.
So that's part of the reason why we want to watch her closely and make sure all of her symptoms are gone and she's able to work at a significant percentage of what she's like usually working at before we return her, so that we can limit the occurrence of like post-concussion syndrome, or she could have like secondary concussions can occur even easier if she returns to play sooner than later. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's frustrating when your head AT says, hey, like you can't have her back yet, but we just want to take extreme measures so that like her like the occurrence of it happening again doesn't occur, and so that she's at top notch before coming back to play, because it really is like any other injury. It just doesn't present itself the same way. So that's why we're so that's why you treat every concussion very seriously. Like, we don't even label them mild concussions or like serious concussions anymore, because just because they may have presented a certain way doesn't mean we label those anymore, because every concussion is still like one symptom and you're cool, because it's just gotten too serious.
Right.
So that's why your head AT is.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. It's just because Coach is down my back,
Right.
and she's one of my hardest workers, and so she's going to want to come in and work as hard as she as we used to. Because again, we're on a periodized plan here. Like, we're preseason, we're just about to start the season, and it's going to be all thrown off by this. So I guess my question is, if it's no exercise is going to affect her head physically, then why can't I put her back in like a back squat or a bench or even plyometrics even? Like, why can I not do those with her?
Well, the thing is, we can, so in terms of like a return to play protocol, you start very simple and you kind of like work her way back up so that she can like return to play. So the thing is, with your head AT, as long as she is symptom free, your head AT can start a return to play protocol. So he's going to start very simple. And then he's going to increase the intensity per day, so that it's usually by day 5, you would simulate what would like a full day in the weight room would look like, so that when she does, like when she's released back to you, she can do anything without a problem.
Okay.
And so, but it needs to be like under the supervision of an athletic trainer, because he needs to be able to, I mean, so she could still, like, go to a session, but, like, the athletic trainer would need to be present just to make sure that, like, after she's done something within the bounds of day 1 or day 2 or day 3, that she's not experiencing any symptoms again. And so, as long as he checks off on that day, they can come out the next day and she can go to the next stage of that return to play protocol, so that they're being monitored and nothing serious happens. Because a concussion can turn 0 to 100 very quickly, and we just need to know those signs need to be recognized sooner than later, so that if it really is serious, they can get sent to the emergency room to, figure out if it's a little too insane, if that makes sense. So it's not to say that she can't be back with you, but she would need to be under the supervision of the athletic trainer so that he or she's watching very closely to make sure none of the symptoms are reoccurring before they progress.
Makes sense. So is there anything I can do in the weight room as her personal trainer? Or like I said, like she's going to come in the weight room and she's going to try to work as much as she possibly can because she hates being sitting still, so as any athlete does. So if I want to help her along the way or expedite the process, is there any exercises that I can do personally, like even just regressions, like body weight and stuff like that, something not so strenuous that she can interact in? Or
so it all, I mean, it definitely just depends on like where you guys are in terms of like the entire team doing like their periodization in terms of like preparing for the season where she is. So for example, if she's like day 2, she's probably done some like light aerobic exercise, so she could maybe up that to say if it was something that was on like the treadmill or the elliptical, like you would go from maybe like a very light aerobic activity on the treadmill to either amplifying that in terms of like incline and speed on the treadmill, or maybe even upping that to elliptical because that's a little bit more like dynamic movement. But it would be very like the transitions per day, like just differ depending on what she did on the first day. So whatever the head athletic trainer had her do on the first day, as long as she had no symptoms, then she can move on to that next stage. So as long as you had a conversation with the head athletic trainer and they said, hey, this is what she did on day 2, like let's try the elliptical today, or let's try free weights, or just doing body weight exercises, because maybe something she could do is like some core exercises, but she probably shouldn't do a burpee at this point. Do you see what I'm saying? So as long as you have that conversation with your head athletic trainer to know what stage she is in, then we can align almost maybe even like where you guys are in terms of periodization. We can align that and just lessen the intensity or lessen the repetition, so that's something that she can continue to do.
Makes sense.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that makes sense. That's perfect. So I guess at this point, like, because like I said, Coach is going to be wondering about her. So and you know more about this than I do. So is there any chance that you and I could email back and forth? You could send me kind of like a detailed, routine that we could do, or anything like that, or a report of what we talked about today?
Right. I absolutely could do that. If you and I could even further help you with that if you're able to send me where you guys are in terms of the periodization, and then I can look at what you guys are at, see if Katie can do any of those things, and if she can't, then I can just modify it to where she's at in terms of return to play. But if there is something within that she can do just by lessening repetition or by lessening weight or like lessening any of that, then I can align those and help her progress in a way that's almost similar to what you're doing, but like not, I mean, she's on her own brainwave until she can fully return to play.
Perfect. All right, sounds good.
Do you have any other questions or anything else I can help out with?
I think I'm good.
Awesome. Thank you so much for hearing me out.
Yeah, of course.
You have a great day.
You too.